day that the Lord has made, and we again are rejoicing and glad therein. This is Meditative Friday with Bishop AMMoore. We consider an honor and a privilege to be able to join in again with you on this day. According to Joshua chapter 1, verse 8, don't allow this book of the law to depart out of thy mouth, but meditate on it day and night, observing to do all that is written therein. Then will you make your way prosperous, and you'll have good success. We believe that the word of God is the answer. Therefore, there's an answer in every word that comes from the Lord. So if you don't mind helping us get the word out, tag, text, tell somebody, share it on your social media platform now, as I'm doing also. I'm putting it on my personal page that we're on. We're live. We're in full action this morning. Won't you help me do likewise by sharing it on your social media platform? If you would be kind enough to do so this morning, and that will be a great help to us as we attempt to let others know what we've come to realize and know, that God cannot lie and his word cannot fail. God cannot lie and his word cannot fail. I want you to come with me this morning. We've been focusing and anchoring our time of study together, focusing in on one specific word, and it is the word of revive. It is the word revive. I want you to come with me to the writings of the book of Nehemiah this morning. The writings of the book of Nehemiah, chapter number 4 and verse number 2. Nehemiah chapter 4 and verse 2. And he spoke before his brethren in the army of Samaria and said, what are these feeble Jews doing? Will they fortify themselves? Will they offer sacrifices? Will they complete it in a day? Will they revive the stones from the heaps of rubbish, stones that have been burned? Will they revive the stones from the heap, stones that have been burned? I'll go ahead and give you the punchline, if you will, from a mess to a miracle because of their motives. From a mess to a miracle because of their motives. One of the Jewish components, or one of the surrounding cities that had benefited from this disruption of Jerusalem, one of their leaders now has said, what do they think they're doing? This state of being has been here long enough. The rubbish, Nehemiah 4 and 2. The rubbish, the disarray has been here long enough. This cycle has been going on for a while. What do they think they're doing? They're disrupting the status quo. They're going against the trend. We benefited from their demise, their debacle, them being in disarray. There are folks that even like now, the oil companies that are benefiting from the crisis in Ukraine by jacking the prices up. They make trillions of billions of dollars, and they could modify what has been done by lowering the prices, but they up the prices because they are capitalizing on the demise or the debacle or the disarray of others. Well, my brothers and sisters, when your methods and your motive is to honor God with your life, he's able to take your mess and turn it into a miracle. Did you catch me this morning? I said he's able to take your mess and turn it into a miracle. What is a miracle? It's when heaven gets involved with earth's affairs and suspends a natural rule that works in your favor. Nehemiah now has gotten some to go with him to rebuild what has been torn down. Some of your families have been torn down. Some of your health has been torn down. The mentality has been torn down. This pandemic, the wars and the rumors of wars, the climate conditions, food deserts in our nation, etc. All of these things are real, and that's the reason we don't deny the facts. We declare our faith, and we expect His favor to show up in the midst of it. So now it's been a mess for a while. Nehemiah gets word about the mess, and he believes God for a miracle, because whenever you're asking God to get involved in your affairs, the miraculous is possible. In other words, the supernatural becomes possible. What people said couldn't be done, wouldn't be done, there was no way possible, it becomes possible because God takes and turns impossibilities into possibilities. I said God turns and He takes impossibilities and turns them into possibilities. And so what ends up happening in the midst of the mess, Nehemiah believes God. Just go ahead and put it on the timeline. I believe God. I don't care what it looks like. I don't care what it feels like. I don't even care what I'm thinking like. I still believe God. God can turn this thing around and cause it to work in my favor. So from a mess to a miracle because of their motives. Their motives was to rebuild the wall. And so now they've gotten there, and things have begun to happen. Things have begun to happen that allows what seemed to be impossible become more possible. Things begin to happen. And so now they've got to defend what they built. And that's what the first 12 verses in this chapter deals with. It's rebuilding what's been torn down, or you got to defend what God has allowed you to build against the enemy. You got to defend what God has allowed you to build against the enemy. There are the enemies of generational curses. There's the enemy of ignorance, or a lack of information, or a lack of knowledge. There are enemies that sometimes are traditions. They're enemies. They're enemies what you're building. And in the midst of those enemies, now Nehemiah is able to defend his stand. Nehemiah is able to defend his stand. And so he says, now watch this. He's looking at them, but he's not looking at those that are with them. Did you catch that? He's looking at them, but he's not looking at who they have with them. So some people will see you because he called them feeble, he called them frail Jews. What are they going to be able to do? This number. And so you can't base your bottom line off of what it looks like. You can't base it off of statistics, off of stereotypes, and off of stigmas. You can't base your bottom line, your outcome. I'm winning irregardless of what it looks like or what it feels like. Now, this word again, revive, in this text says, what are they going to do? Revive the stones, revive the heaps, revive the rubbish, revive what has been burned. In other words, are they going to make, are they going to restore, are they going to revive, are they going to renew, are they going to return to life what's dead? Okay. This is the season. I'm telling you that in the midst of personal attacks, etc., this is the march of major. This is a major march for you and for me. And so now you've got to stay anchored. You've got to stay focused. You've got to stay true to what you're believing and expecting God to do. It was a mess. So they're looking at the mess. They don't see the miracle manifesting right before their eyes. It says it's been a short time. In a short time, God can get a lot done if we would stay focused, if we would stay fortified in the things that we're believing Him to do. And now y'all know the story. For those that are Bible students on the line, in 52 days they rebuild what's been torn down. This is going to be a record-breaking month, a record-breaking year for you. Hear me in the prophetic. God is going to accelerate your return on investing in Him. God's going to accelerate your return on investing in Him. Yes, Nolan, this is a major march. This is something that God is up to in a major way. Some things are going to happen before we celebrate Easter in a major way, because God doesn't major in minor. So now, because they stayed focused, because they stayed true to their assignment, they were able to reveal what had been torn down. Well, I came to remind you this morning that you can reveal what has been torn down. Your mess can be turned into a miracle as long as your motives are to honor God with the ultimate outcome. Okay. So the declaration, we want you to declare this 10 times. We want you to read this particular passage, Nehemiah chapter 4, verse 2, 10 times today. Awaski is being revived in the broken areas of his life because his motives are right toward God. Awaski is being revived in the broken areas of his life because his motives are to honor God. You are being revived in the broken areas of your life because your motives are to honor God. Yeah, the broken areas. Awaski is being revived in the broken areas of his life because his motives are to honor God. When your motives are to honor God, there's nothing that God can't cause to come back to life. Awaski is being revived in the broken areas of his life because his motives are to honor God. You can be revived in the broken areas of your life. Yes, Pastor Green, when your motives are to honor God. Yes. There's no breakdown that you can't have a breakthrough and then you can't have a breakout. Yes, Carlita. When your motives, when your motives are to honor God, you can be revived. Okay, so you're being revived in the broken areas of your life because your motives are to honor God. Your mess don't have to stay a mess. It can become a miracle when your motives are right. I'll close simply by saying, when I started on this journey of ministry, I had a hand-me-down car from my parents, a 1979 Buick Regal. And I'm preaching, getting opportunities, etc. This car just acting up and then cutting off on me, etc. I hadn't had a conversation with God because my motives were to honor Him. I said I need a reliable transportation to be able to get around to spread your gospel. I needed something that can get me from point A to point B without breaking down. Well, with no credit, my mentor now shares with me that of a local car dealership. When you're testifying, you're not testifying. You remember it was on Roebuck Parkway. Bruno's Automotive was the name of the place. I got a 1989 Nissan Sentra, no credit, put a partial payment down, didn't have insurance, was able to bring it back in a week's time. My mother took me out there, and the song that was on the radio was Rance Allen and the Allen Singers, He's a Miracle Worker. I'm here to tell you, as I'm full and excited this morning, because this is a major march that God is turning things around. I'm telling you, don't go off of what they say, go off of what He says, and watch Him make a way. I had the car, and so much so I honored what God had done and put on the front of it, try God. And I understand God, yes, Jameis, I had try God for a number of years. I was known all over the city in that great Nissan Sentra. By knowing that's a Watsky right there, because I wanted to make a statement out loud of what God had done in private for me, because I trusted and I tried. When you keep your motives to honor God, God will cause every broken area in your life to be restored and renewed. God loves you. I love you. Also, have a fantastic Friday. Be careful out there. Listen, wanted to close by reminding you that tomorrow morning we'll be at it again at 8 a.m. in prayer, and our ministers are going through continuous training to develop and sharpen their skills and gifts. So be in prayer as they get seminary exposure even the more, and we're right back at it this upcoming Sunday. God is doing some magnificent things in both locations, and we are glad about it. Have